Hey guys, welcome again to my channel, The Delivery Driver. Today we're going to be showing you how to maximize and get more blocks. So make sure you watch this YouTube post until the end, like, subscribe, and if you have any questions, make sure you write them below in the comments. So let's move on. Let's get on to the main subject, and that is how can I get more blocks? One of the most frustrating points about Amazon Flex is that you have to keep going on and on and on in your app and keep refreshing, trying to get a block. And you always find that there's like 1,000 other people online trying to get the same blocks. And by the time you've hit accept, it's gone. And the block's been reserved by someone else. It's like really, really frustrating, and like you just go crazy trying to get a block. And then you spend so many hours and so many minutes per day trying to get a block. So today we're going to show you what you can do to ensure that you maximize and get more blocks. Let's go back to basics. Let's rewind. So basically, Amazon Flex obviously have algorithms that they use to pre-forecast sales, okay? So they will plan ahead based upon their current trends of sales. And naturally, like any business, okay, similar to like a restaurant, you get to a stage in a restaurant or any business that you know you have a minimum number of sales per day. Based upon that, you can plan for orders, for staffing, and so on and so forth. And that's exactly what Amazon Flex do. So they will always publish or release blocks based upon what they have predicted in terms of sales, whether that's in the Amazon warehouse or Amazon Fresh. So that's where you will see at specific times of the day where they will launch and release these blocks, and they are specifically released at certain times of the day. Now, depending on what location you are in the UK or globally, will dictate the hours or times that Amazon will launch or release these blocks. And it happens throughout the day. But I found in London, for example, that it's mostly early morning. So from about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, between that time is like the peak when they start releasing all the blocks that they are pre-planning for the day. Similarly in the evening, so around 10:30, 11 and even onwards are probably the best times to go online to get blocks for the next day or for the remainder of the day. Other than that, you will find that you have what they call reserve blocks. Now, reserve blocks, depending on your dashboard ratings that you have, will dictate how many offers you get on a Friday normally, but it also rolls over into Saturdays. And you will get a number of reserve blocks where you will have a number of minutes to accept. So it's not like frantic refreshing and trying to accept before someone else does. You will get these every single week. But depending on your dashboard ratings will dictate how many of these reserve blocks you have. So the better performer you are, the more reserve block options you have. So that will help you because it allows you to pre-plan. So you will know in advance, a few days in advance, sometimes even a week, what blocks you have for the following week, which obviously helps. The third category that we have are what we call last second or last minute blocks that come up. Now, that's why when you go to a station, you will see cars parked outside, right? And you're always wondering, why are these cars parked here? The reason why is because they are looking for those last minute blocks. So if there's a block, for example, starting at 2:30, they will normally go to the station around 1:45, and they will sit there refreshing frantically to get the last minute blocks that come up. Normally last minute blocks are usually due to people cancelling. So people who had blocks and they've cancelled at the last minute, so they become released and they want to fill them up, obviously. So you can accept those blocks. Normally they're paid at a better rate because they're last minute as well. Normally anywhere between a few pounds to sometimes I've seen £10, £15 an hour extra for those last minute blocks. The last minute blocks also happen where they haven't planned enough blocks in advance, so they didn't forecast the demand, and then they realize, damn, we have more carts than we've actually booked, so they will release blocks. Now, you just need to be aware of your stations in your area, what time blocks are normally allocated, and go before those blocks to get a chance of getting those last minute blocks. Now, the downside to that is that sometimes there just literally isn't any last minute blocks. So you've made a big journey, sat outside, and you don't get anything. It's a wasted trip. So, it's always touch and go with that option. Obviously, the best options are the reserve blocks because they're reserved in advance. You don't have to go frantically refreshing and accepting. They're specifically offered to you for a few minutes, and then you accept or you decline. The other option, obviously, is the regular option where you just keep on refreshing and trying to grab a block, which can be very frustrating. Then, as I just said, you can get the last minute blocks as well, which sometimes happen, not all the time. I've tried it a few times. I've made a few trips to my local station in Wembley, and I think out of the maybe 20, 30 times I've gone, once or twice, I've managed to get a last second or last minute block. So I wouldn't advise it, to be honest, because most of the time you just don't get anything. Then a lot of people talk about robots, right? Using robots. Now, there are a number of companies that offer robots where you pay a subscription. It's not free, and they can be quite expensive. You're paying anywhere between $20 to $30 a week, up to $80 a week. And it's a robot. Now, Amazon are cracking down on this. So if they see that you're using a robot, or they detect that you're using a robot, they could close you down. So I personally wouldn't recommend it. Also, there's a high cost. I mean, you literally have to work 1 or 2 shifts to pay off the fees that you're paying for the robot services, and then you have all the risks to go with it. But I do know a lot of people who use robots. I personally don't recommend it. I've never used them, and I will never use them. But that's your own prerogative. I'm just putting that out there because that is one option. The other option, which is what I'm going to show you today and what I'm going to reveal, is an option which, technically speaking, is like borderline. It hasn't been, if you like, confirmed whether it's crossing the line in terms of breaking Amazon rules. The reason why is because we're using the accessibility options available on an iPhone and an Android phone, which basically, in short term, allows people with disabilities to bypass the regular use of a mobile, so you can have voice activation and touch activation or touch motions to allow people with disabilities or mobility issues to be able to use the functions of a phone completely. And those options have specifically been put into a mobile for those people to use. So we're going to show you how to use those options to bypass and get more blocks. So what we're doing basically is mimicking the actions that a human would do to search and accept a block. And we're going to take advantage of the features available on our phones to be able to do that. And that means that I don't have to keep refreshing by my finger and doing this rapid action to try and accept a block, which can be most frustrating. And you just don't know whether your timing is right, and you keep missing blocks, and blocks keep getting booked by other people, and you just get so frustrated. But with this technique, the chances of you getting blocks are increased at least by 100% minimum. So let's get into it. Let me show you how we do it. Guys, so let's go through the stages. So settings. Once we go into settings, we go into accessibility. After accessibility, we scroll down and we go to switch control. So basically, switch control is moving from or switching from a regular, if you like, command or usage of your phone to a new format of using the features of your phone in brief. Next thing we do is go to recipes. Then we go to new, create new recipe. We first name it. So I'm just going to name this Flex. Okay. Once we've done that, we need to now assign a switch. Never have time out on. Leave that off. Go to assign a switch. And we say full screen. And then over here, we go to custom gesture. So now we want to program and save the gestures that we do, or the actions that we do, to accept a block or search and accept a block on the Amazon Flex account. So imagine dashboard rather. So imagine this is the Amazon Flex dashboard what do we do, or what do we press to search and accept a block? So we want to now do those gestures. So we always obviously want to search over here, click on it, and then accept, and then search, click on it, accept, search, click, accept, search, click, accept, search, click, accept. That's it. That's the motions essentially in a nutshell. So we save that, and we have our custom gestures all done. Okay, Flex is saved, everything is all sorted out. So now what we do, we go back to our phone. Now to activate, we go into Amazon Flex, and we log in. I'm going to log in right now. We're in Amazon, our dashboard. This is the dashboard. So normally we would refresh over here, anywhere along this panel. I'm not hoping, well, I'm hoping that it comes up so I can show you, but you know, I'm just refreshing. That's the whole problem. You have to keep on refreshing and refreshing and refreshing until something comes up. But we just mimicked this. So we mimicked refreshing and then clicking on the actual block and then accepting. That's exactly what we did, right? So how do we activate that? So it's automated and we don't have to keep touching the screen. So on the right button here, we want to turn on the switch control. Oops, I've just taken a picture. Let's get rid of that. So 1, 2, 3. When you do that 3 times, switch control comes up. You click on switch control. Now, all you need to do is just press it once. And now you can see it taking control. So your gestures that we saved is working. It works for like 3 or 4 seconds. So the key is this, guys. Once you activate it, click the screen 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that will just roll. That will roll for like 20 seconds. Okay? You don't want to do it more than that. 5 touches at any one time. So that's just mimicking how I would normally search and accept a block. So if we click 5 times, that will run for like 20 seconds and you see it's gone. Once it's gone, then you can do another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do not do more than 5 touches at a time. And always have a few seconds gap before you start the next round. That's the key. At the end of the day, guys, this is a solution provided for those who have a mobility or disability challenge. So this is completely legal. Yes, we are bypassing the regular system, but that's the reason why these features were created. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let that run. Now, Amazon haven't really given a full, if you like, response in relation to using these features, because technically speaking, it would be discrimination to those who are disabled. Now, the issue is that obviously, if you're using this and you're not disabled or don't have dysfunctional issues in terms of touching the screen and using the touch options on the screen, then technically speaking, you're abusing the functionality. But that's the line that you're going to be basically crossing if you get to that stage. So this is the solution, guys, for you to have a better chance of accepting blocks. Now, I'm just on here at a time when no blocks, I mean, it's not like it's not working, it's working, it's just no blocks are coming up right now. You know, just my pot luck, while I'm making this video, no blocks are coming up. But the essence of the story is that you're now relaxed. You don't have to keep worrying about, I'm gonna do it 5 times, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't have to keep worrying about refreshing and accepting. It's gimmicking what you would normally do, as long as you stick to the rules. 5 touches, and then a few seconds gap, and then again 5, and you can keep running on that over and over again. Now, my recommendation is that I would only do it for like 15 minutes at a time, and then have a gap of, you know, at least 5 to 10 minutes, and then run again. So you're basically saving a lot of energy, a lot of time, and a lot of stress. I could just put this on the table and let it run for 20 seconds, 30 seconds. I can watch TV, have a coffee, and I don't have to keep watching the damn screen trying to get a block. So to turn it off, just like we started, click 3 times. 1, 2, 3. That's it, done. If you tap on it, nothing's gonna happen. To activate, 1, 2, 3. click on switch control, tap 5 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it goes. And that's it. It's as simple as that, guys. Now, I'm not gonna lie and say that this will give you 100% response, i.e. every single block that comes up, you're gonna get. But it's far damn easier and you're gonna get a much better conversion. I would say that's gonna improve your chances by at least 40 to 50% of getting blocks. It's just mimicking what you would normally do to get a block. And that's the beauty of it. Keep in mind, guys, that before you do this automated option, that you select on the filters and select which filters or which locations you want to be included as part of your search criteria. Now, the reason why is otherwise we'll just accept or bid on or try to accept blocks at every single location, which is what you don't want. But remember one thing, because you're not in control, you're basically accepting everything that comes up. So you need to make sure that you comply. If you see that you've accepted a block and you don't want it, obviously forfeit that block at least minimum 45 minutes before the block is supposed to start, or within 5 minutes of accepting the block. But make sure you put the filters on. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed. It's an option. Don't forget, guys, I put in a disclaimer. Technically speaking, we are breaking the rules, but it's a far better option than using a robot, which is completely breaking the rules. So give it a try. Let me know what you think. But trust me, it's going to improve dramatically your chances of getting blocks. But of course, also listen and take note of my other advice, making sure you go online at specific times. Also, I have another advice for you. Try to go online and search blocks when it's normally a block time. So if there's a block at your local station between 2 to 4, for example, go online at 2 o'clock and do your searches at 2. Reason why, because a lot of people are on the route right now and on a block. They're not in their phone searching. So use it as a tip. So whenever there's slots that you have for blocks at your specific station, because every station is different, every territory is different, go online at the time that a block is taking place. You've got a much better chance because less people are online because they're actively working on a route. Anyway, guys, like always, like, subscribe. Any questions you have, put down below. Love you guys. Until next time.